right, welcome back. Not a lot of green on the screen today, as you know. However, you probably didn't look at Bitcoin. It's up 3%. It's decoupled, obviously, from the NASDAQ.
Look, you've got a president who's very interested, and his family's very interested in Bitcoin doing well, crypto doing well, and I think you're close to regulation or some positive announcements on policy.
Bitcoin is up over 36% this year, up 6% this month. Bitcoin is up almost 9% this week, and Bitcoin is up over 5% today. It turns out that the bulls reclaimed the market. Bitcoin has now seen yet another weekly RSI breakout. This is one of the most bullish signals that we've seen over the past, well, forever actually. Every time Bitcoin gets one of these weekly RSI downtrend breakouts, we see humongous swings to the upside. These weekly RSI breakouts are no joke, and we have confirmed another one this past weekly close, which now resulted in a major pump. And typically, if you do a count, these runs last around 12 to 14 weeks, typically about 12 to 14 weeks, which lands us at somewhere in July, I believe, if we mark it up, July or early August. So that means we have multiple months, end of July, meaning the rest of April, May, June, July, to see an uptrend form for Bitcoin. And this weekly RSI breakout is usually accompanied by a MACD that is showing that the bears are losing their momentum, and that is actually what we're getting right now. We have the 3-day RSI breakout confirmed, and the 3-day MACD crossed up already. So this has been quite an epic breakout thus far. And as all of my loyal viewers know, we've been looking for these signals for the past many weeks, the MACD, the RSI, and we're seeing it play out now. So be sure to smash the like, subscribe to this channel. Now, taking a look at Bitcoin's pure price action here, we can see that we've made a significant shift, a significant change in character. Bitcoin now creating higher highs. For anyone that is not in denial, you can see Bitcoin has made a bullish pivot. We are above the downtrend line. We are breaking above the April 15th high, breaking above the March 25th high. This is a very significant move. We've made significant progress over the past 2 days, and there is room for more upside. We're also sitting at a resistance, so likely we get a lot of chop in this zone rather than just expecting straight lines. I think we should expect volatility, continued volatility. The stock market has provided a bounce today. The S&P gave us a bounce, which did assist crypto in its upside today. Now, Bitcoin has also been quite decorrelated. It has seen a lot of discorrelation or a decoupling from the stock market over the past week or so. We've seen multiple moments where the S&P would dump really hard and Bitcoin just kind of wouldn't do anything. Bitcoin has been taking the S&P upside signals, but avoiding or sort of ignoring the S&P downside signals. And I think that has a lot to do with the performance of gold and the narrative for gold getting a little contagious for Bitcoin. I think people are starting to look at Bitcoin like digital gold, and we know that Larry Fink does regard Bitcoin as digital gold. That narrative might have a little contagion, and it's starting to spread into the Bitcoin narrative. Gold is generally seen as a bet against optimism, right? When people are uncertain, they go to gold, and Bitcoin seems to be getting that narrative or gaining that narrative back a little bit more. Bitcoin is very much a hybrid. Bitcoin is seen as a speculation vehicle. It's regarded and treated as a speculation vehicle, but slowly but surely, it is also gaining that sort of safe haven, bet against optimism type of label. It is becoming that type of instrument. Now, I don't think that Bitcoin will just decouple completely from the stock market. There's way too much leverage in this market for that to happen. And I'd be the first one to say it because I've always been very, very strongly opinionated that Bitcoin is correlated to the stock market. And it always has been, and it still is to this day. But this year, we've seen more evidence than ever before, I think, that Bitcoin is beginning to be treated and regarded as digital gold for real. And I think that came alongside its move above 100K. This is when I think a lot of people on Wall Street and in the global markets began taking Bitcoin very seriously. But flipping back to the Bitcoin chart here, I do think that this is a signal that Bitcoin is creating an uptrend that we have a bullish trend pivot confirmed, and we are going to be looking to create higher lows and higher highs from this range, despite whatever volatility may occur in between. I think ultimately we're going to be seeing the market trending to the upside. And also looking at Bitcoin's parabolic trend, we can see that Bitcoin has actually begun to almost reclaim it. We did break down below it. That was a signal of a decrease in momentum, weakness in the market, though we are starting to almost trade back into it, which is interesting. It's not the best looking parabola anymore. That is a great sign to see that we are coming back into it, right? A lot of people told me, Kev, just change the line, just move the parabolic trend line so that it fits. And I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to just change the line. I mean, Bitcoin did have a significant slowdown, and we did attempt a bounce off of that parabolic trend line, that huge weekly wick. The largest wick in Bitcoin history actually took place right on a test of the parabolic trend line. And we lost it, and now we're almost reclaiming it. So that's good news, I guess. Also, I just released this new indicator called the Volume Price Momentum Indicator. It is free to use on TradingView. I'll post the link below. And by analyzing price changes and volume surges over a user-defined look-back period, the VPMI, the Volume Price Momentum Indicator, highlights potential trend shifts and continuations. The VPMI calculates the difference between volume-weighted buying and volume-weighted selling pressure based on price changes over a specific look-back period. Taking a look at this indicator on TradingView on the daily, the original purpose of this indicator was that I was trying to figure out, based on volume and price action, what side of the market was trapped. Are the bulls trapped or are the bears trapped? That was the original intent. You can see that the bulls began to get trapped back here, actually on this giant green daily candle. Let me remove the drawings. You can see on this giant bounce candle. On that candle, based on the volume and price action, that was actually the day that the bearish signal showed up, was on this bounce, which was interesting because it gave a leading signal of a pullback. And a few days ago, it was April 18th, this indicator flipped bullish, signaling that the bears were more so on the trapped side here. And that was also a leading indicator that we crossed up ahead of this pump. And this is best used on the 4-hour, daily, and I mean, you could even go down to like the 1-hour chart. But anyway, I figured I would just release this indicator free to use, get your guys' feedback, see what you guys think about it. Link is below. Be sure to check it out. And be sure to sign up for Patreon if you want to take part of our morning voice chats in Discord. You can only get in my Discord by being a Patreon member, and every weekday morning around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, we are doing voice chats where we have multi-hour discussions about the market every single day of the week. You guys can participate, ask questions, make comments, and that is all possible by joining Patreon and connecting Discord through Patreon settings in the Connected Apps tab. Be sure to click that link below and sign up for Patreon today, and I'll see you all in the next video.